Dear students, welcome to this video lecture. In this lecture, we are going to understand the iron carbide equilibrium diagram. So, iron carbide equilibrium diagram is very important because steels and cast irons, which are the ferrous alloys, they are part of the iron carbide equilibrium diagram. Okay, so in this equilibrium diagram, in iron carbide equilibrium diagram, so there are three invariant reactions taking place in iron carbide equilibrium diagram. So let us understand what is an invariant reaction. So for a binary alloy, an invariant reaction is one occurring when three phases are in equilibrium. Okay, so it indicates that for an invariant system, the degrees of freedom is 0. So next one, every invariant reaction in a binary phase diagram is always represented by a horizontal line. So as we have mentioned here, every invariant reaction in a binary phase diagram is always represented by a horizontal line. Okay, so if you look at the first sentence, there are three invariant reactions taking place in iron carbide equilibrium diagram. So from this we can understand that we will have three horizontal lines. Okay, so let us mark the temperatures. So this is the phase diagram. So as we all know, in a phase diagram we have weight percentage of solute on x-axis. So in this case we have iron and carbon. So carbon reacts with iron and forms a compound known as Fe3C. And you can see here x-axis is the weight percentage of carbon, and the maximum amount of carbon that can be dissolved in iron is 6.67 weight percentage. Okay, so x-axis we have weight percentage of carbon, and y-axis we have temperature. So first let us indicate some temperatures, some points. Okay, so the first point is 1540. So the importance of 1540 is 1540 degrees centigrade is the melting point of iron. Okay, so let me mark this. So this is 1540, and we have another temperature which is 1410. So 1410 will be here. So at 1410 there is a solid state transformation, 1410, and similarly at 910 degrees centigrade we have another solid state transformation. Okay, so first let us discuss about the first reaction which takes place at 1494 degrees centigrade. So 1494 will be here. So it will be a small line. So if you look at the composition, at this point we have 0.1% carbon. So here we have 0.1% carbon, and here we have 0.5% carbon, and in between we have 0.2% carbon. So let us draw the lines. So let us join these two, 1540 to 1494, and again 1494 to 1410. Okay, and again let us draw a boundary from 1540 to 1494. So the first invariant reaction takes place at 1494. Now the second invariant reaction takes place at 1150. So this is 1200. So this is like 1150, and the line starts from 2% to 6.67% carbon. So this is the second. This is the second invariant reaction. So here the percentage of carbon is 2.11, and here the percentage of carbon is 6.67. So let us draw this 1410 to, so here it is 0.2% carbon, and then we have let us mark a point whose composition is 4.3%. So this is 4.3% carbon. So let us draw a boundary. Okay, so the first invariant reaction was at 1494, the second invariant reaction was at 1147 degrees centigrade, and the third invariant reaction takes place at 727. It takes place at 727. So 727 will be somewhere here, and it starts at 0.025. So its left hand composition is 0.025, and its right hand composition is 6.67% carbon. So here this is 0.025% carbon. So let us draw. So this is 727 degrees centigrade. So as the temperature decreases, the solubility of carbon in iron also decreases. and let us draw this boundary, and let us mark another point, 0.8. So this is 0.8. So let us draw this, and from 0.8 let us join this point, 2.11. So this completes the phase diagram. Now let us identify the regions. Let us indicate the phases existing in various regions. So 1540 is the melting point of iron. So we all know above 1540 iron will be existing in the liquid state. So the phase existing here is liquid, L. And in this small region, so this region we have delta iron. So we have delta iron, and in this region we have gamma iron, and here we have alpha iron. Okay, so we have identified liquid region, and this small region from 1410 to 1540 the iron exists as delta iron, and from 910 degrees to 1410 degrees iron exists as gamma iron, and up to 910 degrees iron exists as alpha iron. Okay, and this vertical line which you see here, this vertical line is a single phase region, and this is your Fe3C. So Fe3C is your cementite. Okay, so now that we have identified single phase regions, okay, liquid phase, delta phase, gamma phase and alpha phase, let us identify the phases in the remaining regions. So all the regions, they contain two phases. So using tie line principle we can identify the phases. So for example, let us identify the phases existing in this region. Okay, so if you draw a horizontal temperature line, if you draw a tie line, it intersects the liquidus and Fe3C. Okay, so the two phases here will be liquid plus Fe3C. Okay, so the tie line is intersecting liquidus and Fe3C. So we have L plus Fe3C. Similarly here we have gamma plus liquid. Okay, and in this small region we have delta plus liquid, and here we have delta plus gamma. And coming to this region, so when you draw a tie line, it intersects the gamma boundary and Fe3C. Okay, so gamma plus Fe3C. So we have gamma plus Fe3C. And similarly in this region we have alpha plus gamma, and finally coming to this region we have, so here we have alpha phase on the left side, and on the right side we have Fe3C. Okay, so we have alpha plus Fe3C. Okay, so using tie line principle, so initially we have identified the single phase regions, and using tie line principle we have identified the phases in the other regions. Okay, so at 1494 we have peritectic reaction. At 1147 we have eutectic reaction, and at 727 we have eutectoid reaction. Okay, so what are the invariant reactions? Let us invariant reactions. So the first one is peritectic. reaction. So what is peritectic reaction? Peritectic reaction, so just look at this. So peritectic reaction occurs at 1494. So the temperature at which peritectic reaction takes place is 1494. Okay, and what is happening? Liquid plus delta, at this temperature it is transforming to gamma iron. So delta containing 0.1% carbon reacts with liquid containing 0.5% carbon. So on cooling at 1494 degrees centigrade, it is transforming to gamma iron. So this contains 0.2% carbon. Okay, now the second one is eutectic reaction. So what is the equation? Eutectic: liquid on cooling transforms to solid 1 plus solid 2. That is the general equation. So here if you see, this is the eutectic temperature 1147. So at this temperature, at this point, liquid is transforming into two solids. Okay, so liquid containing 4.3% carbon on cooling, and the temperature is 1147 degrees centigrade. It is transforming to gamma containing 2.11% carbon plus Fe3C cementite containing 6.67% carbon. Okay, and coming to the third reaction. The third reaction is the eutectoid reaction. So eutectoid reaction. So eutectoid reaction, in general, it is the reaction. It is the transformation in the solid state. One solid on cooling decomposes into two new solids. So if you see here, at 727 degrees centigrade, at 0.8% carbon, gamma iron is transforming to alpha plus Fe3C. Okay, so gamma containing 0.8% carbon on cooling at 727 degrees centigrade, it is transforming to alpha. So what is the percentage of carbon? Alpha contains very small amount of carbon, 0.025% carbon plus Fe3C. So Fe3C contains 6.67% carbon. Okay, so these are the three invariant reactions. At 1494 we have peritectic reaction, where liquid plus delta on cooling gives rise to gamma iron, and eutectic reaction at 1147 degrees centigrade, liquid on cooling transforms to gamma plus Fe3C. And the third reaction is the eutectoid reaction taking place at 727 degrees centigrade, where gamma on cooling transforms to alpha plus Fe3C. So we have seen the three reactions. Okay, now steels. So we can differentiate steels and cast irons from the iron carbon diagram. So so basically steels are alloys of iron and carbon. So if the percentage of carbon, so steels are alloys of iron and carbon in which the percentage of carbon is up to 2%. So these are your steels. Okay, so steels are basically alloys of iron and carbon in which the percentage of carbon is less than 2%. Okay, and this region if the percentage of carbon is more than 2, these alloys of iron and carbon are called cast irons. Okay. So let us understand the various phases in the iron carbon phase diagram. So what are the various phases in iron carbide equilibrium diagram? Okay, so what are the phases? If you see the diagram, what are the phases? We have liquid phase, we have delta iron, we have gamma iron, and we have alpha iron, and finally we have this compound, this Fe3C cementite. So let us see one by one. So the first one is liquid. Okay, the second one is delta ferrite. Okay, and it is represented as delta. So what is delta ferrite? It is the interstitial solid solution of carbon in delta iron. So the crystal structure of delta iron is body centered cubic. Okay, and this form of iron, it exists at only high temperature. Okay, so delta iron is an interstitial solid solution of carbon in iron, and its crystal structure is body centered cubic, and delta iron exists only at high temperatures. Then third one is your gamma. So gamma, so this is known as austenite. So this phase, this is actually called gamma iron, so this is called austenite. Okay, so the reason is this phase, this is named after austenite. You can see the name Austen. Austenite is named after a famous metallurgist, and his name was Robert Austen, and he was the first person to study the iron carbon phase diagram. So in his honor, this particular phase, gamma iron, is named after Robert Austen, and this phase is called austenite. Okay, so austenite is also an interstitial solid solution of carbon in gamma iron. Okay, so the only difference is the crystal structure of gamma. The crystal structure of gamma iron is face centered cubic, FCC. Okay, and the fourth one is alpha iron. So alpha iron is known as ferrite. So again, it is ferrite is an interstitial solid solution of carbon in alpha iron, and the crystal structure of alpha iron is BCC. Okay, so you can see uh, so alpha iron exists only at low temperature. So if you see this diagram, from room temperature to 910 degrees centigrade, we have alpha iron. This is known as ferrite. Ferrite has BCC structure, and it exists only up to 910 low temperature. And from 910 to 1410, we have the iron existing as gamma iron. This is called austenite phase, and the crystal structure is FCC, close packed structure. And again from 1410 to 1540, the crystal structure of iron again changes to BCC, and above 1540 being the melting point of iron, above 1540 iron exists as the liquid. Okay, so these are all alpha iron up to 910 degrees centigrade, gamma iron from 910 to 1410, and delta iron from 1410 to 1540. And the last one is your cementite. Your cementite is Fe3C. So Fe3C this is a compound intermetallic. This is an intermetallic compound of iron and carbon. And the crystal structure of Fe3C has orthorhombic crystal structure. Okay, so I would like to revise what we have discussed in this video lecture. So iron carbon equilibrium diagram. So in iron carbide equilibrium diagram, we have three invariant reactions taking place. So what is an invariant reaction? For a binary alloy, an invariant reaction is one occurring when three phases are in equilibrium. So for an invariant system, the degrees of freedom is 0. So Gibbs phase rule, if you remember, Gibbs phase rule, P plus F equal to C plus 1. So there the value of P, the number of phases, and F is the degrees of freedom. So degrees of freedom F will be 0 in an invariant system. And every invariant reaction in a binary phase diagram is always represented by a horizontal line. So since we have three invariant reactions taking place in iron carbide equilibrium diagram, we will have three horizontal lines. So what are those three horizontal lines? So the three horizontal lines, so one at 1494, so that is the peritectic reaction, the other one at 1147, which is the eutectic reaction, and the third one at 727, which is the eutectoid reaction. So how did we construct the phase diagram? So x-axis we have Fe, iron on the left side, and carbon. So carbon reacts with iron and forms a compound Fe3C. So maximum amount of carbon that can be dissolved in iron is 6.67. Okay, so x-axis we have weight percentage carbon, and y-axis we have temperature. So at 1494 we have drawn a line. So this line starts at 0.1% carbon and ends at 0.5% carbon. Okay, then we have identified few temperatures. One is 1540, which is the melting point of iron, then 1410, where a solid state transformation takes place, and another temperature 910, another solid state transformation takes place. Okay, so we have joined these two lines, and this is 0.2%. So we have drawn a line here, and again we have drawn this boundary. Then what we did, we have considered the second invariant reaction. So at 1147 we have drawn a line from 2.11% carbon to 6.67. okay, and we have joined this, we have drawn this boundary, and similarly 4.3% we have drawn this boundary and this line. And the third invariant reaction takes place at 727. So the left so on the left hand side the composition is 0.025. So 0.025 to 6.67. Okay, so as the temperature decreases, the percentage of carbon, the solubility of carbon decreases, and here it will be almost 0.008%. So this is 910 degrees. So draw this boundary, and again from 910 to 0.8% carbon. So this is 0.8% carbon. So draw a line, and from 0.8 draw a line to 2.11. So that completes all the lines. Now we have to identify the phases. So first we have indicated the single phase regions. So 1540 being the melting point, above 1540 the phase. So this is your liquidus line. So this is your liquidus line. Above liquidus we have 100% liquid phase. Okay, now coming to this, so iron exists in different crystal structures. So this is iron, this line corresponds to iron. Iron exists in different crystal structures. From room temperature to 910, iron exists as alpha iron. So this is known as ferrite, and the crystal structure is BCC. From 910 to 1410, iron exists as gamma iron, and gamma iron is also called austenite. So it was named austenite in the name of a famous metallurgist Robert Austin. He was the first person to study the iron carbon phase diagram, and to honor him, this phase was named after Robert Austin. So gamma iron is called austenite, and its crystal structure is FCC. And from 1410 to 1540, iron exists as delta iron. So delta iron, the crystal structure is BCC. So you can see one metal exhibiting different crystal structures. So up to 910, iron exists as body centered cubic. From 910 to 1410, iron exists in the crystal structure is face centered cubic, and from 1410 to 1540, the melting point of iron, the crystal structure is body centered cubic. So this phenomena is known as polymorphism. So poly means many, morphism crystal structure. So if a metal is exhibiting different crystal structures at various temperatures, it is known as polymorphism, and iron is the best example which exhibits polymorphism. Okay, and then we have seen the invariant reactions. So at 1494, we have delta plus liquid, delta containing 0.1% carbon plus liquid containing 0.5% carbon on cooling at 1494 transforms to gamma, and gamma contains 0.2% carbon. Okay, so you can see in all these equations we have three phases. Okay.